But I'm also known as Noixium, which is my Native American name. It's a name that I prefer to be called. But students of mine of nature and ecology call me Brother Nature, so I'm also known as Noixium Nature. I've been a science teacher and naturalist for over 35 years here in the state of California. And I've been working from Marin Headlands, which is in the Pacific coast, to Yosemite National Park, to Quincy, California, all the way back to the Marin Headlands. So I do a triangle of nature study here in California, and I teach about every single ecosystem in between all these areas. And you know, one of my specialties is actually aquatic biology, but as a naturalist, you know, we get these trainings and studies, and one of the classes that I was able to take was animal tracking. And animal tracking is one of my foundations. So at some point in time, if you go hiking with me, I'm going to teach you a little bit about animal tracking. And today I'd like to show you some of my animal tracks. This is my animal track selection from the Sierra Nevada mountains. Now, to give you a little bit bigger background of the Sierra Nevada mountains in our state of California, our lovely state, you know, we have an area that's kind of split in between, because on the east side of the Sierra Nevada mountains you have igneous rocks that come out of volcanoes, and here's where you could find granite, Yosemite granite. You could find basalts, also andesite, lava flows, which where some of these came from. And on the west side of the Sierra Nevada mountains, there's slate and shale, and that kind of particular rock, after it weathers, it creates excellent mud surfaces where animals put their feet down into the ground. And here I have an example of a 300-pound black bear that went deep into the mud surface. And these animals, when they weigh that much, they really could go right in, just stepping one step after another. And here's a human footprint. I'm just showing you as an example. Here's a human footprint. Of course, humans have toes like that. This is in mud too. Now, generally, when you have these tracks that are in mud, they're really easy to clean. You can use water, toothpick, toothbrush, hang in there, and sure enough, they get pretty clean. But when these other tracks that I have from the east side of the Sierra Nevada mountain, the igneous side, Well, that's a little rougher terrain right here. So after the andesite lava flows and cools down, millions of years of weathering, that ground is actually really gravelly, crackly. There's sandy, and so there's a lot of environmental factors that are involved on the east side that are different than the west side. So on the west side you have the Pacific Plate, on the east side you have the North American Plate, and at one point in time they connect together, and right there at that one juncture, that's where, you know, I like to go animal tracking, and I track all year round in the Sierra Nevada mountains. So at some point in time, in the wintertime on the west side, in the spring and summer I'm on the east side. So I'm out there, and you know, tracking to me is one of the ways that I connect with nature. I just love to be out there, you know, a lot of the times alone. You know, when I'm teaching kids about tracking, it's kind of more like a really quicker thing. You know, I want them to learn the process of how to look at a track, and then, you know, what the animal was doing, the direction it's going, how much pressure that it puts on the ground, whether it has a territory, whether it's going this way or that way, or whether it crosses. Each track has a different story to it. So that's what I'm looking for when I go tracking. So it's a one-on-one with nature, and it's actually when I'm feeling fully alive. It's just something that I've always done, even as a young lad. I would like to go back, you know, even though I've been a 35-year veteran naturalist. I've actually been a naturalist my entire life. When I was younger, I'd be a notorious cutter of school. I would look at school and I'd look at the hills. I'd cut and go up the hills, and I would do that quite a bit. And it got me a little bit in trouble with my family and everything growing up. But one day my dad would tell me, he goes, "What's going on with you, son? How come you're cutting class so much?" And I would tell my dad, "Well, they can't teach me what I need to know." And he would just be all flabbergasted, to tell you the truth, and he would just tell me, "Are you from this earth?" And I would tell him, "Yes, I am from the earth." And from there on, you know, even though I was a cutter, I would manage to graduate from high school, and later on in life, you know, I would join the California Conservation Corps. I was a conservationist for a while, fighting forest fires, doing stream clearance, helping out salmon species, planting trees. You know, these are all things that I felt that were very important, not only for my growth, but for Earth growth. And so just like, you know, anything that had to do with nature, I'm into it. Edible foods of the forest, medicines, and like I said, tracking.